Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't think it's a secret that one of the most disappointing cruises I've had in 2022 was the March 4th sailing of the world's largest cruise ship, Wonder of the Seas. It was her first U.S. sailing, an inaugural sailing, and well, frankly, it was disappointing to me. Paid good money and was disappointed. Well, I had a chance to do that cruise again, a shorter version, and I'm here to answer today the question that's burning in everybody's hearts and minds. Did the Wonder of the Seas redeem herself, or did it still suck? Let's talk about it. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to La Lido Loca. I'm your host, Tony, here with my updated review of the world's largest cruise ship, the Wonder of the Seas. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, I was on the Wonder of the Seas back in March of 2022. It was a birthday cruise for my beautiful bride, the lovely Jenny B. And well, it was kind of a birthday disappointment. We shelled out about $3,500 to go on what turned out to be a half-baked cruise experience. One of the reasons I fell in love with Royal Caribbean cruising, well, two things. First, the big wide open promenade. Who doesn't love a big wide open promenade? And number two, the entertainment, particularly the Broadway show. I loved Cats. I'll say it out loud. Thank you, Andrew Lloyd Webber. I loved Cats on Oasis of the Seas in addition to the Aqua Show, which was mind-blowing. And again, and I know I'm beating the dead horse, it just wasn't there on the Wonder. So what happened? Well, we were invited to participate in a trade show sailing on the Wonder of the Seas that was offered to travel agents and other folks. We got this offer on the travel agent side, and basically the way it works is you come on board for 2 days and you see all the highlights of the Wonder of the Seas. It's a really wild kind of time. The open bar everywhere. People were getting lit, which maybe, I don't know if that'll help your opinion of the Wonder of the Seas, but it was a really nice event. There were dignitaries there from Royal Caribbean. They had open talks, those kind of things, and they showed you the shows. Now, unfortunately, prior to that cruise, the lovely Jenny B, she started feeling unwell. She's on a string of feeling unwell. So let's continue to have good thoughts for Jenny B, especially if you've seen our latest adventure coming off of the Sky Princess. But she felt unwell prior to going on this Wonder of the Sea sailing, so she didn't go. So I went on my own. Again, 2-day sailing. Let me just hit the highlights. Talk about the food. I know people love the food. I only ate in the buffet. The buffet was very similar to what we had on the inaugural sailing. They rolled out a big spread on the first day that included all kinds of delicious, delectable, yummy for your tummy foods. And then every subsequent time that I went there, the buffet had high quality food in abundance. Really good buffet. No beef there. I mean, there was beef on the buffet, but I had no beef with the buffet. I'm not a vegetarian. There was beef. Do you guys get what I'm saying? No, the food was good. And then the real thing that I was trying to pay attention to was the shows. First and foremost, they put on the show The Effectors 2. Now, The Effectors 2 is a sequel to Effectors 1, which I first saw on the Spectrum of the Seas on my cruise to Japan. So the theming is comic book, and the show production is high tech. Lasers, drones fly over, pyrotechnics, digital screens, a lot of technology. It was very good. Effectors 1, boom, we go into Effectors 2, which is the big show on the Wonder of the Seas, and they ramped all of that up. They brought in another villain, they brought in more lasers, they brought in more drones, they had a mega drone, they had a really good story, fantastic singing, fantastic. It was great. It was a really high-end production show, and they delivered. They delivered the promise of a great show on Wonder of the Seas. However, it was not a Broadway show. And so I think for the purists, the Oasis class purists, there's still going to be some consternation. I was okay with it, but I still would have liked a Broadway show. But as I've thought about it, as I've contemplated it, what is Royal Caribbean trying to do? Well, they're trying to compete as a family cruise line. They're trying to compete with Disney. And Disney, for example, has a whole bunch of really high-end production shows targeted at the children. And I would say that this Effectors show would be targeted at some nerdy adults as myself, some of the geek generation, as it were, and also would have great appeal to the children in a way that I would say maybe Cats or Mamma Mia would not. So I understand it. I don't know that I like the change, but as far as the show goes, it was fantastic. It was a really good show. It made me feel hopeful about cruise ship entertainment. It was that good. It made me really start to think about where cruise show entertainment will go next because of the technology. But yes, is this the death of the Broadway show on the Oasis class ship? Sadly, maybe. That's, I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. And so if you're a Broadway show purist, maybe Oasis will not be the thing for you, the Oasis class. And certainly Wonder of the Seas, they have Effectors too. If you can get out at any chance to see that show and you love cruise ship entertainment, you will be pleased, I would think. Have you seen Effectors 2? Do you like it, dislike it? I thought they did a great job with it. Okay, now the other two shows that were not quite ready for prime time on the inaugural was the Aqua Theater show. It was pretty good. I tell you that. It was Intense, which is the name of the show. All-female cast, and they gave us way more. On the last review, I'm like, oh, I only got 15 minutes of the show, and then they brought out a guest juggler. No, we had like an hour. I felt like it was an hour, 20 minutes maybe. It was very long, to the point where I was looking at my watch, like, how long is this show going to go? And it was great. They had all kinds of aerial acts, slack wire. They had diving. They had a really high wire act. They had aerial drumming that was unexpected. Water. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was intense. The name so fit the show. And I came away from that show invigorated about the Aqua show, and just kind of remembering that awe that I felt the first time I sat in the Aqua Theater going, wow, people are going to jump off this stuff into the water on a cruise ship. That show, the Aqua show, was redeemed much better than the 15 minutes in the juggler. It was redeemed, as it were. So I was excited about that. And then the ice skating show, fan-freaking-tastic. I don't know what props came along. The big beef during the last one is like, yeah, here's the show, but we didn't get all the props. You should come see the show. Once we have all the props, it was great. It was called 365. All the things that you want from an ice skating show. You had a nice couple show where the guy almost, hits the lady's head on the ice. We love that trick. You had flips. You had triple axel sow cow. I don't know what you had all the stuff in an ice skating show, and it snowed inside, which was pretty amazing. Yeah, I was very pleased. Again, so I got out of those three shows, you're reflecting about it on my way to my next adventure. I was like, yeah, I feel really good. I feel really good about the entertainment. And there was no disclaimer at the end of any of these shows like there were the first time that I was on there going, you should come back because it's going to be great. And so, yeah, very pleased. Now, with that said, my time on the Wonder of the Seas was very short. It was all free. It didn't cost me anything, so take that with a grain of salt when you're contemplating this review in contrast to my first review. Watch both of them. The first one I paid $3,500 for a week to be on there with my lovely wife. This time I paid $0. Everything was included. The drinks, the coffee, the food, all that stuff. So, yeah, I mean, other than the gambling, the casino was open. Yeah, let me talk about the casino. I still think that on these Oasis-class ships, especially the Wonder of the Seas, the casino's great. A very big casino with both a smoking and a non-smoking section. They use some sort of voodoo ionization technology. This non-smoking doesn't smell like smoking. They're not walled off from each other, but they do a good job keeping those things separate. A beautiful cruise ship. I got to tour the suites. I did a whole walking tour of the Wonder of the Seas. Make sure you look at the links at the end of this video to check out both of those. These reviews always beg the question, would I recommend this cruise to someone else? Everybody's cruising tastes are different, so let me just tell you who I would recommend this cruise for. If you're a family and you want family things to do and you want good family entertainment, I would recommend this cruise ship. They made some other changes to this Oasis-class ship, the Wonder of the Seas. They took away one of the flow riders. The mini golf on it is themed out so wonderfully. They have a big climbing jungle gym type area for the kids. There's a lot to do for the kids. If you're a family looking for a family cruise experience, I would absolutely recommend this. If you are a kind of a geeky, nerdy, techno kind of person, the entertainment's going to hit you right in the sweet spot. And certainly, it was no secret in my first review that maybe some of my disappointment with the Wonder of the Sea sailing was my expectation that it was going to be great, when because it was an inaugural sailing, my expectation should have been that it was going to be challenged. It was a huge lesson learned for me. I have strongly been avoiding booking inaugural cruises since that Wonder of the Seas experience. And also, during that first video, I said, look, if you want this big ship experience, this Oasis class experience, I would choose Oasis of the Seas over Wonder of the Seas. Is that still true for me? Well, it's going to come down to one or two key things. The one or two key things are, what do you want the big show of the cruise to be? Do you want it to be a Broadway show? Do you want it to be this geeked out technology show? That's going to be an easy delimiter. That's going to be an easy thing to choose from. If you like the more techie, the more geeky, that kind of thing, choose Wonder of the Seas, choose Effectors 2. If you want it to be more like a Broadway classical kind of deal, choose any of the other Oasis class ships and do that. I still don't think you can go wrong with the Oasis class ships. They're beautiful, they're big, they do a great job of bringing a lot of people together, dispersing them. Designed like no other. You know, the boardwalk, the Central Park, the promenade, wide cruise ships with a lot to offer, with a lot of fun. Let me just put a bow on it by saying, look, Wonder of the Seas, now that you're fully baked, you're redeemed. You're redeemed. The decision is easier to make now. What kind of entertainment do I want to see? And that's it. You fit well in the Oasis class of cruise ships, and I enjoyed the 2 days I was on ya. What do you think? Have you been on Wonder of the Seas versus other Oasis class ships? Which did you prefer? Leave a comment below. Thank you so much for checking out this review of the Wonder of the Seas. Do you like staying up to date with everything going on in cruising? Well, La Lita Loca covers it. La Lita Loca covers it hard. Be in the know when the new episode comes out, which is every day for the most part, by hitting the subscribe button with notification bell. And look, check out the ship tour for the Wonder of the Seas. Check out the suite tour for the Wonder of the Seas. It'll blow your mind. This is Tony for La Lita Loca, and until the next time, we'll see you on the Lido. Bye.